Welcome to my island. Here, I hide my heart's desires behind smoke and mirrors, and crawl through the sands of time, trying to capture a fantasy with a butterfly net. Here, I am both seer and siren, promising pleasure to the pop star worshippers who make the pilgrimage to my shores. Or is it all just theatrics?
Behind the facade of glitchy beats and glittering synths, there's a sadness. The stained glass windows of the hyperpop cathedral echo with the innocent tones of a children's choir, not yet nostalgic enough to understand the depths that yearning can reach. When you step off the subway car, you're still searching, destination unknown. Or maybe you're just searching in all the wrong places. Maybe what you're chasing comes from within your own soul. Maybe desire isn't the quest for an escape. It's a metamorphosis. Maybe desire is whatever you turn into.
Hi, I'm Julia.
And I'm Isaac.
We are friends, amateur musicians, and music lovers who believe that full albums are an art form all their own, greater than the sum of their parts.
This is For the Record, a podcast where we turn off shuffle, ditch the algorithm, and listen to one great album from start to finish.
Today, we're talking about Desire, I Want to Turn Into You, Caroline Polachek's second studio album from 2023. We'll break down the key themes, musical elements, history and context, and share our thoughts on the album.
Julia, I am very excited for today's podcast recording. I'm realizing as I say that I think I start maybe every recording session.
Have you ever not been excited?
Julia, I'm so excited. But today is an extra special excitement. Not only do I absolutely love this album, but my little sister Ella is here in studio with us.
Oh my God, that's who this is?
On this podcast.
Oh my God.
Esteemed.
Hello.
Ella, introduce yourself. Yeah, tell us where you're from, what you're
Ella.
all about.
I'm not about much yet, but I will be.
Love that. Aspiration.
I am Isaac's little sister, as you said. I go to school in Boston. I'm just here for a little visit, and I also love this album, so I am super excited to be here.
Two of us share a mom. All three of us share a deep love for Caroline Polachek.
I was going to say for Caroline, yeah.
Desire, I Want to Turn Into You. Because, wow, this album is just...
Is it love or is it obsession?
For me, it's almost more of an addiction than an obsession. It's just the sort of album that, like, washes over you. Mm-hmm. Let me tell a little anecdote. So I recently watched a wonderful documentary called Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
Oh,
and they talk about the umami flavor being captured in an ideal moment of deliciousness. And I feel like Desire, I Want to Turn Into You, for me, has always just been full of ideal moments of deliciousness.
It's that umami.
And it's that umami.
I think Caroline would be wildly offended to hear this album described as umami.
She did actually live as a child in Japan for a couple of years.
She did, yeah.
So maybe she would be tapped into...
I honestly didn't know. Can you guys just give me a little background? Because it feels like you have a lot of little tidbits.
Yeah, so Caroline Elizabeth Polachek was born June of 1985 in New York City and was raised in suburban Connecticut. But she did also live for a time in her childhood in Tokyo, Japan, where she was exposed to a lot of non-Western music and aesthetics that she's credited with influencing some of her music today. She attended the University of Colorado in Boulder and later went to NYU.
Her time at Boulder is very important because it's where she met her co-founders of the indie pop band Chairlift.
I loved them.
I didn't know about Chairlift at all until researching this episode, and
really?
I found out that they were swept up in like the Apple commercial boom,
the iPad commercial,
where that could blow up a band. They were contemporaries like Vampire Weekend, Grizzly Bear.
Absolutely.
A turning point in her early career was that Solange became a fan of her work with Chairlift, put her in touch with Queen Bee, and Caroline co-wrote the song No Angel
with
Beyonce, which became a turning point and kind of showed to the industry that she was ready to take more control as an artist, as a real creative force. She actually messed around with a couple alter egos. Ramona Lisa, she just called herself CP for a little while. And
I feel like that just makes sense. That's so her.
Ramona Lisa is a very...
Caroline
her
Polachek
name, Her first solo album came out in 2019 called Pang.
Yeah.
I felt so many of the seeds of what would become Desire I Wanted to Turn Into You, but it didn't have that moment of deliciousness for me. Like
I
I
see,
found
I see.
Did
myself.
not have that umami.
Yeah, Ellie, you said the
Okay,
same
no
thing.
umami.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can see some themes that carry over, some sounds, but she really honed her own sound and her craft with this album.
Totally. And that brings us up to
Desire, I Want to Turn Into You.
which came out in 2023, produced with her longtime producer Danny L.
Yeah.
Harrell, and she worked with another producer named
Sega Bodega.
Damn, what a name.
They recorded in London, Barcelona, right? Reading through all the lyrics, there's a lot of London references. And I think elements that she took from like some London music and some Spanish music that kind of enter in through here. And I didn't really understand at first why. But then when I saw that that's where she recorded, I thought, oh.
It is interesting to hear those different cultural fingerprints on the
Mhm.
different songs. Like the flamenco guitars in Sunrise
Yeah.
really speak to that
Of
Barcelona
course, the Spanish guitar.
influence. Like,
Yeah. I think on Billions, which is the last song on the album, there's a children's choir, which I'm pretty sure is the Trinity Children's Choir from London.
The album cover, it's this great surreal image that kind of feels out of space and time,
Mhm.
where she's crawling on the floor of a subway towards sand, and it's
As one does.
it's both like urban and gritty and a little grimy, but
Mhm.
also has this kind of mystical
Yeah.
fairy tale like quality to it. Something about that captures even like the difference between London and Barcelona reflects a little bit of that urban grittiness of London, and Barcelona with a slightly more
Yeah.
flamboyant, beachy vibe. And
Mhm. If you guys had to describe her in like 2 words, what would they be? I feel like she's wild and crazy. But I would love to know like what you guys, how you like picture her.
She's got this like hyperactive mania in her persona that you see on stage, that you hear in interviews, and definitely that comes through in her music, certainly in this album, just with how versatile and kind of maximalist the sounds are.
Well, Mania, that's a good one.
I was also going to say maximalist, certainly in
Emotion.
the production, but also in the emotions. Like it's this outsized sense of feeling, and there's tons of different sounds. Like she's not afraid to explore different styles and tempos and emotions. In the wrong hands, it could end up being a mess. And there's something about her artistry, and also just the fact that the persona she's kind of crafted for herself, like it fits that, and she really owns it.
The production really pulls it all together. All the lyrics, all the music, her want to bring bagpipes and children and Spanish guitars into the same album could have been disastrously messy, but she pulls it off. I was sort of picturing her as like this ethereal creature with like those long, scary black nails sort of like emerging from a hole to like grab a man and bring him back down. And then like whatever she does with him is her business. But I kind of get like a uneasy feeling, you know?
I get more of like an elfin pixie side of the
Okay, you're on the manic
I see the
side.
mythology, but yes, not only does she have a
like
I picture Galadriel from Lord of the Rings.
I
like
see.
Pointy ears and very sort of long and beautiful, thousands of years old as well, and sort of full of insights and could beat the shit out of you.
Maybe it's the surrealism. You know, it's like she ties in a lot of classical sounds and the pop roots are there, but she's so experimental. I feel like she's like taking you on a journey and you never know which way you're going.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Totally. I think that also speaks to her just the various influences of music that she's had throughout her life. You have her father, who was trained as a classical musician, and she grew up in a home where music was very, very important. She grew up playing the keyboard and the cello, and she was trained in classical opera singing. So you kind of have all of these influences that come together in her ethereal maximalist mania.
She is operatic.
She is operatic. And
for sure.
Her voice is unbelievable and so distinct, and I think is, for me, a piece with the Siren comparison. Also, just a little anecdote about her.
Okay, another anecdote. Here we go.
So I read somewhere that when she was growing up, first getting into music, her father, who, like Ella said, was a musician, gave her a synthesizer, something that she could plug headphones into so that she wouldn't be a nuisance, like fiddling around on the piano. So she learned music on a synthesizer, which has the capacity to create these different soundscapes and, pre-recorded beats or something. So the production of this is so full of wall-to-wall interesting sounds and soundscapes. And my theory is that maybe that initial introduction to music through such a versatile tool kind of carried with her. And I wonder if those early roots played a role.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to get a little bit into the themes and the music?
Let's do it.
Okay, I first want to just talk about the album title, Desire, I want to turn into you. I pulled a quote from her saying that she thought that the title sort of encapsulated the idea of desire as a force so strong and consuming that it's no longer just about wanting someone or something. It's about wanting to become that very thing or person. Like she was saying that she's so interested in desire, not just romantically or sexually, but existentially. She sees desire as a catalyst for change, growth, escape, and surrender.
The title of the album is really interesting in that it has so many different meanings or ways to interpret it. Is she saying that she wants to turn into you being the object of her desire? Is she saying she wants to become desire itself? Could turn into you be more of a physical action in which you're physically close to somebody? She really depicts desire, not just as a lust and a passion, but as something that
almost like a being in itself,
right? As something that's spiritual, that's transformative, that can really move you and shape your identity.
It's desire as a path that you walk, not as what you walk towards. The words turn into are so, like Ella said, up for interpretation in so many ways. Like the verb turn could be to metamorphosize, or it could be like to face this person.
Or unzip that person and crawl inside them and zip yourself in and now you're that person.
Exactly.
For fans of horror films.
Like Animorphs book cover, but you're turning into elf gremlin Caroline Polachek.
It just makes me think of that guy that turns into a rat and eats cheese. Like that's how I picture you.
I don't need to turn into a rat to eat cheese.
That's so true. Isaac can have a little cheese as a treat.
Amen. But the title really reflects her approach to the lyrics and themes of this album. It's
multifaceted. Like for her, desire is so many different, or could be so many different things. And you can interpret it as so many different things.
She uses poetic abstraction, bordering on surrealism, to explore herself. There's almost a sense that the cryptic nature of some of the lyrics and imagery, as well as this barrage on the senses style of music,
right?
She is using something that's like fun and bold on the surface to ultimately convey really personal messages and insecurities, and she's hiding them behind this facade. Like it takes your first listen, you don't quite get hit with the depth of what she's grappling with. Only once you've picked apart these abstractions.
Ripped apart every single song.
Once you've torn off the skin of whatever it is you want to turn into.
Well, I think that brings us right into themes. What do you guys have as themes for this album?
I mean, desire/yearning is the obvious one. We've kind of talked a little bit about it. She explores it in so many different ways and angles and styles throughout the album. It's in the title, so it's an obvious toss-up.
Right.
Another thing I wrote down was regret.
Regret. Okay, interesting.
And I think for me that it could almost be a foil to desire. Like desire is what you're moving towards. Maybe regret is what you're moving away from. If you think of it as a path, not a point A versus point B.
But it can also be cyclical. Desire brings you to things you regret, and then in order to recover from that regret, you return to desire. And the way she moves throughout this album could be from desire to desire. Like I never got the sense that she's desiring one specific person or thing, or she's chasing in so many different directions.
It's the act of desiring.
Yes.
That is the thing.
What does desire turn you into, and how are you going to
gremlin,
feel after
manic pixie?
Crawling out of a hole and snatching up men.
Yeah.
One of my themes I had was escapism. Like I just feel like there's so much surreal imagery, and the sonics are very immersive. Like in each song, you're sort of transported into a different world that she's built for you, and it's kind of like a roller coaster. you know, and you do not know what the next attraction is going to be, but you're just like on the ride and you can't get off. There's musical lines that tie through the album, but each song is like a new experience. Like, are there going to be bagpipes or are there not going to be bagpipes? You don't know until you get there.
It's a total crapshoot.
What about you, Ella?
Yeah, well, I also had escapism as mine and sort of fantasy going along with that.
Yeah.
I also had identity. She's talking about herself and what she desires and who she is in this moment. She, has these transformations coming through in this album as well.
The last one I had was spirituality. Isaac's nodding. Did you have that as a theme?
I didn't, but just there's a fine line between what's spiritual and what's fantastical. And it's, I guess, just a matter of what you choose to believe in.
I mean, there's so many faint religious or spiritual undertones. And I did a little exercise going through each song. And like almost every single song has a religious reference. So it's sort of woven through, but it's by no means the point. But I'm just curious, like, what role is religion playing or spirituality?
Part of that also comes out just from her voice. She has this incredible, beautiful voice.
Like an angel.
Truly like an angel, an insane range. And no, it really is like an angel. And I think sometimes you hear her vocals on some of these tracks along with the production that was done. And it feels like you said, in kind of ethereal, transformative. Like you almost feel like this is what it feels like to be beamed up into heaven.
Well, the final song on the album ends with this children's choir that you're speaking about, and it gives it this gospel feeling, like you're, it's like the end of a church service, and you've reckoned with all of these things and themes. There's so much going on. Like in the wrong hands, it could just fall apart and feel sloppy, whatever, forced, and she just nails it.
12 songs, 45 minutes. She nailed it.
I think now we should dive in on categories. Ellie, I sent you the categories list, right?
Yes, you did.
You're prepped?
Categories.
You have your answers?
I'm ready. Some of them were really difficult to make a choice.
God, how can we choose? It's like choosing your favorite child. And as, one of 3 siblings, you guys understand that stress.
It was definitely Isaac.
Okay, so what was everybody's favorite song?
Should we say it on 3?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Pretty
Welcome
Impossible.
to my island.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, 3 different songs.
Oh, all right.
All right, let's all say them now. One
Separately.
Yeah.
Okay, good idea.
Okay.
Kick us off, Julia.
My favorite song is Smoke. It's at the very end of the album, and actually I think I really love the last 3 songs of the album. Like she comes in sort of with a punch, and the last 3 are very beautiful and a little more melodic, less chanting. Smoke comes right after Butterfly Net. The last lyrics of Butterfly Net are, "There I was with my butterfly net trying to catch your light." Then the song turns into, "It's just smoke. It's just smoke floating over the volcano." And I kind of like the idea that she's talking about her butterfly net and she's waving it around trying to catch things, and then it's just smoke.
I think what you're saying about the ordering and flow of these last few songs just speaks to the through lines that run through all of this album. Like, it's not even that she's just repeating specific lines or images or melodies. Like, there are images in different songs thoughtfully placed enough that you can make those connections across songs by yourself. Like, there's also lots of mention of mirrors in a few parts of this. Exactly.
Baby.
And I found the phrase smoke and mirrors tying into the sort of misdirection that some of this album feels like, where, it's all smoke and mirrors.
I also just felt like the imagery of this song was really strong. Like, she's talking about sort of a smoking volcano. Then she has this sort of distracted moment where she's talking directly to the guy. "You are melting everything about me. Oh, don't worry about me. It's just smoke." And then I sort of picture her as the one that's like wisping smoke. Like she's so hot that she's smoking, I liked it. I like that one.
Ella, what was your favorite song?
My favorite song was Pretty Impossible. That's the second song on the album. First of all, I just think it's so catchy. It begins with this like really great kind of vocal lead in that I think is so exactly. I think, and Caroline kind of described this song as her stream of consciousness almost. That there's no real verses or a chorus to kind of latch onto.
Right.
And it kind of stands very nicely right next to Welcome to My Island, which is this very punchy, like bringing you into that fantasy world. And this sort of grounds it a little bit. You're almost in her head. You're going through these thoughts, these emotions along with her. I think it is very representative of her manic, maximalist, whatever you want to call it, just kind of that flow of her thoughts and her words.
Right. I love the Oracle and Odyssey reference in that song. I actually really don't like this song very much, if I'm being honest, but maybe I'll like listen to it with that in the back of my mind, that this is her stream of consciousness, and maybe I'll connect to it in a different way.
And the chorusless nature of it is very meandering. It's a path. It's not something where that returns to a comfortable place. Like you said, the first song welcomes you into this fantasy world that she's creating, and then she's like, no, now you have to get on my page. Like,
right. As Ellis said, it then becomes very stream of consciousness and a very different vibe than Welcome to My Island, which is where we've all been kidnapped and we're in her world.
Right. There's no order. There's no structure. It's almost something that like slips from our grasp that then leads into Bunny as a Rider, which is about that same. Oh, that's not actually my call out.
No, is this your honorable mention?
No, my honorable mention is Blood and Butter. I really went back and forth with these two for my favorites, which they're quite different songs, but I think that, I mean, all these songs I think are essential to the album, but they do both really capture.
Blood and Butter is an interesting one. Like, it didn't stand out to me at the beginning, and then every time it came on, I thought, oh, I like this one. And I liked it more and more as I listened to it, you know.
Yeah, I had the same experience. Like, the beginning, it took a while for kind of the intro of the song to hook me in the way that some of the other ones do, but the sounds are so interesting. The melodies, the lyrics, it's sort of this, it's like a folk song almost, but it has those still really.
Almost like a medieval folk song.
Right.
It has like the religious.
Yeah, it still has that psychedelic sort of feeling to it. You're kind of being engulfed by this song and by this sort of image that she's
paint the picture in
creating.
Blood and Butter. Holy water, fire in the sky.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do love the pairing of blood and butter, which are like,
they're both thick substances.
Yes, they're thick substances, and too much of one can fuck up your body's ability to transport the other.
Yeah, butter does clog arteries, famously.
I don't know if it's the alliteration and like the one syllable, two syllable nature
you love
of
alliteration.
it, but it's just, there's something so satisfying about like blood and butter. And I also feel like there's something very like human about butter in a way that the idea of blood almost on its own doesn't seem very human to me.
No, you're right.
Like bleeding,
totally,
maybe, but
blood feels mythical in this.
Yes, exactly.
And butter is the human, tangible concept.
Good honest spread for a piece of good honest toast.
I can't believe you didn't rhyme spread with bread. Come on, Isaac. It was right there for the taking.
Julia, are you putting butter directly onto untoasted bread?
Anyway, let's move on.
Let me tell you my favorite song.
Okay, would love to hear.
Which I went with Welcome to My Island. Like, it could have been so many songs.
It could have been so many.
And I'll shout out a few honorable mentions.
That's my honorable mention.
It's just such a great entryway into this fantasy world. A big part of it is the fact that I cannot stop myself from yelling, desire.
I want to turn into elephants.
Hey, elephants. Yeah.
Elephants. Hey,
we've been singing it nonstop.
Ella and I have been hanging out all week, just like involuntarily, like
yelling
that at each other.
It's me walking around. It's me in the grocery store. It's me in the bathroom.
Totally.
Just desire.
Yeah.
Hey, 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 hey.
I had Sunset as an honorable mention. It is such a left turn from the sounds before it in the album, like those flamenco guitars.
I was gonna say the flamenco rhythms.
Is so interesting in the way she weaves it. Like, it doesn't feel jarring or out of place.
Yeah, because it's blended with contemporary pop, so it feels like natural and familiar, even though it has that edge.
Another honorable mention is Billions, which is just a great album closer.
You know, guys, we did not. None of us picked a favorite. Let's be real here. No one picked a favorite song.
Yeah,
we pretended that we did when we obviously didn't.
I had half the album written down for this one, so
I think an interesting one to talk about is the song that grew on you the most. For me, like I said before, it was Blood and Butter. I never noticed it in my first listen. And now I'm like, oh, that's an honorable mention for me.
It sounds to me like you're just staving off the need to talk about our least favorite songs.
Oh no. I have a least favorite song and I have no problem. I even have an honorable mention. Least favorite.
Least favorite? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I do as well.
Okay.
Well, I think we should start with least favorite song because
Okay.
sometimes that is a good
You are
jumping
right. And should
springboard
we
into grow on you the most.
Say them on 3?
Sure. 3, 2, 1.
Hope drunk ever asking.
There
Nailed
we
it.
go.
I had a
Now we're
feeling,
lining up.
It's funny. I feel like we don't even need to talk about it, but we should just give a quick explanation for listeners at home.
I will start by saying that this was also my pick for the song that grew on me the most, along with Butterfly Net, which is my other least favorite song that grew on me the most.
Whoa.
But
That's one of my favorites.
I think Hope Drunk Ever Asking is a tempo change
It's not a good song.
in a way.
Can we just admit that out loud? You're pausing like you want to think of something nice to say. You look embarrassed. It's not a good song.
It's not a good song on its own. I respect its place in the ebbs and flows of the album.
That's such a cop
as a
out.
breather song.
A pee
I
break
do.
song.
I mean, you don't know. I'm not mad about this album, about this song, but my issues with it are more the music and the way that it takes me out of that
totally.
addictive quality.
Yeah.
I think lyrically, it's very
Beautiful.
indicative of what the album is about. Like,
She's such a strong lyricist that like she could write a poem about garbage and we would be like, this is genius. Do you know what I mean? I don't think the words are the issue.
I mean, I also had it down as my least favorite. I think I agree with that. It kind of just took me out of the universe a little bit. And it's not, if I'm putting this album on not to talk about it on a podcast, that's probably one that I'm
It's my only
skipping
skip,
over.
I
Right,
think.
exactly. I think that
The lyrics of this song of Hope Drunk Ever Asking are dawn is just a headspace, night is a feeling. Hope drunk ever asking, centuries come and go, they'll find our bones and yet they won't. What does that mean? Bueller? Does anyone know what this means?
I think I do.
Okay.
Well, hope drunk and ever asking, I don't think either of those are real words, but they both together reflect the yearning that this album is all about.
You're right. Hope drunk is important.
I also think like centuries come and go, they'll find our bones, and yet they won't. It's this out of space and time fantasy world where desires exist on this plane of like past regret and future goals.
Yeah.
And that's what it captures to me. Again, I agree with you guys that if I was going to skip a song, if I was going to cut a song from this album, it would be this. But maybe I'm a little bit more forgiving.
Her deluxe edition of this album, which came out in 2024, is called Desire I Want to Turn Into You Ever Asking Edition. So for whatever reason, that got pulled over to deluxe edition.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't get it.
I'm
That's
curious
okay.
what she has to say about it.
Yeah, Caroline,
Let's call her
we
out.
want answers.
What were the songs that grew on you most, ladies?
So for my first one, I had Butterfly Net down as well. Because of the tempo, I think my initial reaction to it was that it sort of took me out of this world. But I think the more I listened to it, it did really, really grow on me. And I think its place in the album, especially just with that imagery of the butterfly net and like capturing something, the object of your desire, fits really, really well into this album.
Yeah. Mine was Blood and Butter, which we already talked about. What was everyone's favorite lyric?
The opening of Billions
Mm.
just hits me.
Yeah.
Psycho, priceless, good in a crisis, working the angles, sexting sonnets, under the tables, tangled in cables. Oh, billions.
I'll one-up you with Headless, Angel, body upgraded, but it's dead on arrival. Oh, billions, twisted, manic, cornucopiac, yeah, my cup of overfloweth, billions.
Bars.
True.
Yeah.
Bars,
on
Julia,
bars,
by way of
bars.
Caroline.
That was mine from the same song, just a verse
Yeah.
later.
One more that I'll shout out is from Bunny as a Rider.
Mhm.
AWOL on a Thursday, trying to go ask Alice, trying to catch that rabbit.
Mhm.
Obviously a reference to
Alice in Wonderland.
Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland, which is like this groundbreaking, iconic,
Mhm.
surrealist text about a young woman on a journey into parts unknown and encountering all these
mythical
surreal images.
creatures.
Like, it's
Yeah.
a very, very fitting reference
You're so right.
that is both kind of in and of itself in the vacuum of that line, very purposeful and impactful, but also reflective of all of the things she's touching on in this album.
I think my honorable mention would be, and the fallout doesn't faze me. Take a bullet for my baby. For the one thing that'll save me, I know. Throw it all out and replace it with a brand new kind of crazy. Don't believe it when you praise me. Do I? Yours, Ella?
Yeah, so I also had those beginning lyrics of Billions in my
you
list.
Siblings.
But another one that I'll shout out is from Sunset. It's actually the very first kind of lyric of the song. It says, "I wear my body like an uninvited guest. I turn it right and right and right instead of turning left." When I was doing my listen where I was really trying to pay attention to the lyrics, I physically stopped walking and did it. I turned 3 times to see if that would do the same thing as it would if I had turned left.
Spoiler alert, guys, that's how you can
that
turn
is,
left.
yeah, true.
By going the other direction.
If you can only turn right, fear not. But I think just this idea of wearing your body like an uninvited guest, it speaks to that metamorphosis, that transformation we've been talking about, that tension between what is reality and what is fantasy, and what is yours and what isn't yours, and what you want to be yours, and sort of this, and you talked about that idea of like zipping someone open and crawling into their skin. And I think, that the physical feeling you get in your body of feeling so passionate, having so much desire, so much want for something or someone.
Yeah, or turning into something you don't recognize, like a detachment from the self.
This line also very specifically uses that verb turn, which we picked apart when we were talking about the title. And it's in a different setting and context here, but she contains multitudes.
She is an angel.
What was your drink pairing for this album?
Vodka Red Bull. But now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that's not the right choice.
I feel offended, and maybe it's because I don't like Red Bull, but I didn't write any of this, so you know what? Drink whatever you want.
I don't like a vodka Red Bull, but I feel like this album is just like a gut punch.
Your
it
heart,
wakes me up.
When your heart starts beating really fast and there's nothing you can do to stop it because that's the Red Bull curse.
Yeah, and there's something also like both in terms of it mimicking the energy of the lyrics, but also just like the context where you might hear some of these songs. Like I picture myself clubbing and just like being, downing a couple vodka Red Bulls. For the listener, I am quite a homebody. I don't get out like that much. But if I knew Caroline was going to be on the playlist, I would be there. I would down some vodka Red Bulls and stay up all night.
My drink would be, I think, a really dirty martini, like tons of olives, olive juice, like super strong taste of vodka. And I feel like she just, drinks the martini, throws the glass down and crushes it under her foot. Like she eats men for breakfast and she smashes martini glasses when she's done with her drink.
I like your choice better than mine. It captures a classiness about Caroline that vodka Red Bull does not.
It's like she looks so
ethereal, if you will.
Yes, ethereal, exactly.
Sort of maybe similarly to you, I had a porn star martini as my drink pairing.
No, that's a good one.
I think you have the almost literal kind of connection of passion fruit juice and just like the idea of passion and desire throughout this album. But I also wanted that similarly like classy, almost, you kind of have this like mysterious, but it has that fruity
adult
side. It
women
has that
drinking juice. That's mysterious.
It has that fun side.
It's a bad bitch drink.
It's a bad bitch drink, right? It's for the baddie sitting in the corner of the bar.
She is a baddie.
I actually think Ella might have nailed this. We inched closer and closer with R2, and Ella's porn star martini is the ultimate.
I just don't drink. I'm not a juice girl.
Put it in a martini glass.
See, I want a smoky drink. Oh, it's just smoke.
Oh,
just
floating over the volcano. Okay, let's move on.
Can you road trip to this album?
1,000%.
100% yes.
Merits no discussion.
Yes.
Maybe you skip Hope Drunk at Rasking.
I would crash the car.
I'd rather veer off the road than
I'm off the bridge. I'm sorry, everyone, that I was driving. Karaoke song?
Next, what song would you do at karaoke?
Say it on 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Welcome
to my island. Oh, wait, Ella, what?
Wait, okay.
What would you
Give
do?
us yours.
Well, so I said Sunset. I think for me, just the kind of flamenco guitar influences are so fun. And just to get to do that vocal bridge that this song has. It's, you're not, no lyrics. You're just a whole new melody just with your voice. I think that would be really fun. I would force everybody in the crowd to dance and look like they were having a good time.
That's good. I get you.
That's where my pick went.
Isaac.
Julia, we're
going head to head.
We're here
Welcome
on
to my
Welcome to my island.
Let's do it together. Next karaoke.
What song would you put on at a party?
Bunny is a rider, maybe.
I said Welcome to my island again. I guess it depends on the vibe of the party, but like to me, that's the pump up one. That's the one where people are gonna be like fist pumping and singing along really loudly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also had Welcome to my island.
I just think Bunny is a Rider has a fun music video. You know when people sometimes at a pregame like have the TV on playing music videos? I feel like Bunny as a Rider is a good choice for that song that like people are talking over a little bit, but still has a good beat. It's driving you into the night.
Totally.
Yeah.
So before we reveal what I know you're all waiting for, our final definitive scores on what we think this album is out of 10, quick detour to talk a little bit about the public and critical reception to this album, as well as its legacy, which is, I mean, it's a very new album. It's only 2 years old.
Right.
So legacy is an interesting word, but I actually do think there is a rich legacy of this album, maybe more than people think.
So Isaac, what else was happening in 2023?
Well, Joe Biden was still the president.
Oh, man,
so
what a time.
We had a little bit of hope still. Musically speaking, 2023 was an interesting year. Some notable albums were SZA's SOS, her sophomore album.
Right.
Midnights by Taylor Swift. Did you know that there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard by Lana Del Rey?
I didn't know.
No, I didn't know either. And The Record by Boy Genius. I mean, those are like 4 pop adjacent albums from female artists with really distinct artistry. And I think Caroline fits in with all of them, even as she's not quite as big as Taylor Swift or Lana Del Rey.
No.
But she is in
should
conversation
be,
with them.
not.
Yeah, she should, in my mind, be bigger.
Who won Album of the Year?
Harry Styles. He won for Harry's House, which is a good album.
It's a good album.
It's a good album. Lizzo won Record of the Year, About Damn Time. Bonnie Raitt won Song of the Year with Just Like That.
My dad loves her. Your dad loves her.
Our dad loves her
too. Yeah.
She's a dad's girl. Daddy's girl. Nope. I regret saying that.
In terms of the legacy of this album, comparison is the wrong word, but the association that kept coming to mind is Brat, which Charlie XCX took the world by storm. 2024 was the year of Brat. It was similarly this like maximalist hyper pop, barrage on the senses bonanza that still never lost sight of her brand as an artist, the sort of cohesiveness of the album. Like it was ultimately very grounded despite how crazy and freewheeling it feels.
Yeah.
And I think sort of the return to that music, which is rooted in like 90s nostalgia and club music. Caroline Polachek like kind of did it first. And if you ask me,
did it better?
I mean, she and Charlie are friends. They've collaborated before. I'm not trying to pit them against each other.
I see what you mean. Like Caroline and Desire walked so that Charlie's Brat could run.
That's what I'm saying. And I think it's time we give Caroline her due.
I just have star ratings all across the board.
Drop it. Tell our listeners what you're seeing on your screen.
So Metacritic threw this album a score of 94 out of 100 based on 19 critic reviews, indicating universal acclaim. Pitchfork awarded the album 8.7 out of 10, designated it as best new music. And in general, the user rating of this is 8.9 out of 10. So strong positive reception.
Yeah, I mean, Rolling Stone gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and they're predominantly like a rock outlet, so that's striking. This is not a rock album. It was on a bunch of best of the year lists. I think Pitchfork put it at the second best album of 2023 behind SZA's SOS.
Okay.
NPR and Vogue both put it on their best albums of the year. I mean, it was like, it didn't go under the radar, critically speaking.
So what's everyone's rating officially for this album?
I'm dancing around a 10 out of 10 on this. And for me, it's not less than a 9. I'm feeling really good about it, especially because I've been listening to it all week and absolutely loving it.
Commit to
I'm
a 10,
say it's
Isaac.
a fucking perfect album. Like, 10 out of 10.
Ella?
9.5, 9.75. I mean, this is a great album.
Round up.
Yeah,
and
come on, girl.
Okay, we'll give it a 10. I mean, I don't. You guys, you have been recording many episodes of this podcast. And so you kind of have this experience of picking an album, listening to it over and over and over again. This was the first time in a while, maybe ever, that I've really committed myself to just sitting and listening through a whole album, let alone listening to it 5-6 times per day for the past week. So, and the fact that I, girl. Could listen to it walking to the beach. I could listen to it while doing work on my computer in a cafe, I think. And I've listened to it that many times and still want to keep listening. We'll hit it with a 10. We'll hit it with a 10.
Julia, balls in your court.
So I actually had been thinking 10, but my just detestment for Hope Drunk Ever Asking has moved me to 9.5, because if it were perfect, this song wouldn't be on this album.
It's a fair.
But I like that you
It's a
both
fair
gave it a
thing.
10, and I respect that.
Thank you.
I feel like I was bullied into it, but I'm happy with where I ended up.
I know you both know this, but for the listener, it makes me really happy that my little sister is here in studio.
That is so
and
sweet.
That we made this work and that we got to do such a fun album.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Of
This has
course.
been such an honor. Just to be here in your presence, to get to be a part of this, to get to talk music with you guys. I mean, I've been talking music, learning about music from Isaac for most of my life, I would say. I credit him with some good and some not as good, but this has been so lovely. Thank you so much for having me.
Come back anytime.
Thanks, guys.
I might have to.
And thanks, everyone, for listening.
Thanks for tuning in to For the Record.
You can find us on Instagram at _the_record_podcast.
Our Instagram also has a link where you can submit any albums you'd like to hear us cover in the future.
We can't promise we'll get to all of them, but we'll take everything into consideration.
You can also shoot us an email at 4 as in the number, D as in the letter, recordpodcast@gmail.com. That's 4D recordpodcast@gmail.com.
Welcome to my island, bitches. Here I hide my heart's desires behind smoke and mirrors and crawl through the sands of time. I started vampire and then I changed it, but I don't know to what.